as food on the table. Now, their lives matter and their children matter, but the rest of us, we're animals. Here to be culled, here to be fed on. Here to have our lives be used up like so many resources. And the globalists talk about that. You know, they say we're just animals, and it's survival of the fittest, social Darwinism, that it's okay what Hitler did, and what Stalin did, and what Mao did, and what Pol Pot did. And it's okay all these horrible things governments have done, because might makes right. If you're in power, that means you're, in a social Darwinistic sense, the best. And so it's your right to do that. But I use the analogy of cancer. Is it cancer's right to run through the body and cause death because it replicates faster, it doesn't follow the regular program? No, it is a aberrant malfunction. It is fallen. It doesn't produce strong, vibrant, dynamic, uplifting, beautiful societies. Freedom and liberty does. Darkness begets death and destruction. And the establishment knows there is good and evil. They talk about how they're beyond good and evil, but they know they are of the cloth that we would call evil. They would call strong, dominant. And so they kill 1,300,000 Iraqis. They kill 500,000 kids here in the U.S. with abortion. What is it if the cop tasers you to death or cop shoots you in the back? What is it if they euthanize old people? Where does it end there? Where does it stop? It doesn't. If it's for the earth, go ahead and kill the majority of us. But they aren't killing, they aren't setting up world government to cull the population because they care about the environment. The elites are actually busy playing God, remaking the environment. They're killing and wiping people out because they're control freaks and it's their nature and they enjoy it. And they are challenged by good people. They are challenged by people that have love and light. They are challenged by people that truly want to build a better society and go to the stars, because that threatens their monopoly of power. So they want a new dark age with sequestered, coveted, protected high-tech zones hoarded under their control, and they're fighting with each other over it. They bring death, and they love death. Remember growing up reading Bible passages, you know, lovers of death. In fact, well, I'll just do it. I can search engine it. They were lovers of death. And that'll give me the verse. They were lovers of death. They were lovers of death. Let me see if I can find a quote. It doesn't come up. A bunch of other things do. Let me try a Bible verse. Bible verse. They were lovers of death. I don't know why it doesn't come up for me. I mean, I found another passage. But regardless, they love it. It's the ultimate expression of a control freak. To try to control the future. Control your reproductive system. Control the wealth. Control the carbon cycle of the planet. A private group of bankers are going to control the carbon cycle of the planet. Let's continue with calls. I'm going to get into the First Amendment attack, a bunch of other news, and Paul Watson's got big breaking news coming up. Who's up next here? John in Texas. You're on the air, John.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, John.
Hey, you know, the way things are going in Pakistan, where the Taliban supposedly is taking over slowly, almost seems like they're getting us set up to set a nuke off in this country and then blame it on the Taliban, and then they can launch an all-out war across the Middle East and create a police state totally in our country right here overnight.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been saying for the last 6 months that I see Pakistan being where they want to start a new war, that I see Georgia as a place to start another one, which they almost did last week, and that I would see a biological event, whether a hoax or a real event, and I predicted that March 5th in detail a few months ago, and it could be in concert with a nuke going off. They've got a vicious set of cards in their hand, and any one of the cards is devastating to liberty and centralizes power and control for them. But I see them playing of 5 or 6 big cards they've got. They could play the entire fist full of cards. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, the swine flu deal was obviously a bio attack. I don't know why it seemed like it petered out when it got here. I don't know what their motive was for it, if they meant it to be just a mediocre flu virus, or if it was just something like a dud firecracker when it got here. I was going to ask you about that. What do you think why they launched this?
It was a tracker test to test how the engineered virus spread. Clearly engineered. Even top virologists in Russia and the UK and Canada are on major papers saying that. People can search engine if they want. Search virus made in the lab, click news, it should come up. But let me answer that briefly when we come back. And then we'll continue with more calls. John, I really appreciate your call. Kathy in Canada, Ray, Rod, Sean, Randy, others. Your calls are straight ahead. I'm Alex Jones. The websites, some of the most attacked on the internet, are Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. This is the GCN Radio Network. Stay with us. Let's talk to Ray. I said I'd answer that last caller's question, and I'll go to Ray in Colorado, Rod, and others. Look, it's clearly a engineered virus. We've gone over all the reasons why. It's clearly meant to track the spread of the virus. We've talked to virologists, and after we reported this, I make the point that we're not making this stuff up. It later comes out in the media. They're saying it could be the perfect virus, the way it's designed to combine with new DNA, RNA, to be technical, strands that would then infect humans more readily and be even more deadly. And it's its spread rate that was so frightening to people. And now the World Health Organization is saying 2 billion people have been infected with it. So a lot of fear-mongering there. And hey, if the news comes out, even when they're crying wolf and says, ABC News, missiles have been fired from Russia, we'll let you know in the next 5 minutes what's happened, as they did in 2000, we're going to cover it and say, well, probably just fear-mongering psyop, but it's our responsibility to tell you these globalists are mass killers, and so we're going to discuss it. And it's the same thing when they come out and say this could kill tens of millions, greatest threat humanity's faced in 90 years, forced inoculation, martial law may be needed. We went on air and said probably a hoax, probably a beta test, but they could do it for real, folks. Just like when Air Force One flew through the middle of Manhattan during all of that, clearly trying to connect somehow 9/11 to bird flu and swine flu in people's minds. It was clearly done to create some type of panic, to try to reinvoke fears. And I said there's no way the feds didn't know about that. There's no way they didn't know that would cause a panic. And then it came out. They knew it would cause a panic and said it's secret, don't tell the public. And then they said it was a photo op, but they won't release the photos, when they could have photoshopped it. Charlie Sheen called me up to make that point. I hadn't thought of that. He goes, Alex, they could have just photoshopped that. This is some psyop. I said, I agree with you, buddy. What a weird world. Just don't want to give credit to where that point came from. All right, let's go back to the calls here. Let's talk to Ray in Colorado. Ray, go ahead.
Hi, Alex. How are you today?
I'm really doing great, Ray.
I was going to say I'm not sure it's the verse you want, but it's in 2 Timothy chapter 3. You might want to look that chapter up for all your descriptions of evil men and imposters. But I just wanted to talk about.
Well, read it to us, and then I'll hold you over. But do you have the passage in front of us?
Well, I'll just do. It's kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kind of stuff, but I'll just do real fast. It says, "But realize this: in the last days, difficult times will come. For men will be lovers of self, lovers of money, boastful, arrogant, revilers, disobedient to parents, ungrateful, unholy, unloving, irreconcilable, malicious gossips, without self-control, brutal, haters of good, treacherous, reckless, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God," and then go down, "evil men and impostors will proceed from bad to worse, deceiving and being deceived." And to me, that is the dark spirit that permeates all this worldwide destruction. And
yes, I know those passages, and I think they're the most powerful in the Bible. And then there's another one. It was there after their father, the devil, the father of lies. But there's another one that they love death, and they do. They love death. And I'm just in love with life.